Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to our first Kevin's Commentary for the new year. We have quite a guest with us today, one of the most decorated swimmers in Wyoming history, Adam Kalms, a native Australian. We're very happy to have you, Adam. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, it's interesting to me, what makes a swimmer fast?
It's kind of a lot of things, you know, hard work, good technique, swimming for a long time, and yeah, all the stuff that makes a good sportsman in any sport, really.
So I know you guys and gals work out at least twice a day. Now we're kind of in a little break here before competition, but you spend a lot of time in that pool. Do you do things on a daily basis that you feel like make you faster?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that we work out here is definitely a contributing factor. You know, every team around the nation does something different when they're at that pool. And I think, you know, when it comes down to it, we're training harder at 7,200 feet and we're working smarter at the same time. And I think, yeah, it really helps out.
Does the training regimen that you have at this elevation, did that play into your decision to come to Wyoming?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, we're the highest D1 public school in America, and I think the only other school that I know that's at the same elevation as the Air Force Academy. So being at this altitude is just such a huge advantage for training that you can't get at sea level, just being able to build an aerobic capacity that nobody else has the ability to do.
So, as I mentioned, you're so decorated and have done such a great job here. Was it a good choice to come to Wyoming?
Yeah, I think it was. Everything that I could have hoped for has happened so far, and I still have 1 year left to see what I can do. So, yeah, I think it's the best choice I've ever made, and I couldn't be more happier with my decision.
I want you to talk a little bit about your major. It's a long one, and talk a little bit about what it's all about and what you would do with it once the swimming is over for you.
So basically, it's a lot like environmental engineering in a lot of aspects, but it's kind of tailored through different businesses coming into the school and saying this is what we want to see from people we want to hire in the future. So the specific concentration that I'm in, the land, air, and water quality, is very unique in that I'll probably go out and get a job in some sort of coal mining, oil industry, and see if I can do some reclamation or try and work with the government and improve the national parks and that sort of stuff.
Now, that would be done in this country, or would that be probably done in your native country?
I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I haven't really worked that out. I'd love to stay in the U.S. and be here for as long as I can, but that kind of just depends if I can get a job out of school, and if I can't, I have a lot of opportunities back home where I live, so we'll see.
Does that have something to do with your future as a swimmer? Would you like to be involved in the Australian national program once you're done here?
Yeah, so if I want to be part of the Australian national team, especially going into the Olympics in 2016, I'd have to go back and swim at the trials in April in 2016. The advantage for me is, though, that I still have 1 more year of school and I can stay here in Wyoming and train and go home for the 2 weeks and go for the trials and see what happens. So, I mean, working off of that, it doesn't really have too much of an emphasis on where I would choose, just because all I have to do is go home for 2 weeks each year to cement my place in that team, and I could live and train wherever I wanted to. So
now you're a freestyler, and you're the reigning champ in the 200 freestyle. What would you compete in? Would it be both, or would you concentrate on one of those?
So if I went back home, my main emphasis would be on that 200 freestyle. It's easily my best race. It's what I do well at in NCs, and I think that I would also give a shot to the 100 free and maybe just kind of see what races are on what day, and it's kind of just like conference, you know. You see what races are on each day, and you kind of pick and choose what you're best at, and yeah, so kind of go from there.
Is it amazing the difference when you go from here to home in terms of how fast you are?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of look at my times from before I came here, and those times seem fast to me then, and they just don't now. And it's kind of blown my mind how the times that I've been swimming here would get me, you know, top 8 back home, and it's kind of, yeah, it's an encouraging thought to be able to see that I would be there, and it shows me that I probably need to go back and show them what I can do.
Mm-hmm. You know, I was thinking about this being the holiday time, and it's over now, but what were you able to do during Christmas and New Year's, and would you celebrate those at home like we do here?
Yeah, I mean, same sort of situation with Christmas and New Year's. I mean, wasn't able to go home for Christmas just because it's so far, and swimming the way it is, we don't get that much of a break during the holidays during this time. So I went to Colorado, and I had a good time there. But yeah, it's all the same, except that here it snows on Christmas, and back home it's 100 degrees. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know we've had a really tough cold snap here lately, and you're a guy from an area that rarely gets under 50 degrees. Is it overrated to make that adjustment? You swim indoors, I know, but was it tough on you?
It really wasn't. You know, being hot all the time is just miserable, as well as being cold all the time. So, I mean, at least in the cold, you can throw in a few more jackets and you're okay. So I didn't think it was too bad. I know a lot of people struggle, but I thought it was okay.
I know that there's maybe a couple other swimmers, divers from Australia. Do you get involved at all in recruiting some of your countrymen?
Yeah, there's definitely, so the coaches will often come to us and talk about kids who are from Australia or New Zealand and see if we've ever raced them. And we were actually just talking to a kid who grew up swimming on my club team, and, you know, talk to them and see if we can get some more talent from the Southern Hemisphere out here.
If you hadn't have been a swimmer, what might you have competed in? Because you're obviously very athletic and very competitive.
It's a hard question. Realistically, I probably would have played water polo. And I think that probably would have led me to the same sort of, you know, come to the U.S. and play for one of the California teams. But me and my friends, my roommates, we always joke about how we should have played golf. It's a lot more fun. You get paid a lot better, and something that just we should have done. Should have learned how to play golf when we were younger.
Yeah, the training is a lot easier, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. What is it about a swimmer, the mentality of doing that? I think I've always felt like wrestling and swimming were probably the two most difficult, taxing sports, not only in training but in competition. What is the mental makeup of a swimmer, would you say?
Yeah, we have a lot of respect for the wrestlers just because it's both our sports are such high demand physical sports. But yeah, mentally it's very different than any other team-oriented sport, just because you have to be able to be by yourself a lot. You have to be able to just be in constant pain when you're trying to work hard, and you just have to be able to calm your mind when you're about to race and think about nothing else and just trust that you've done the work. And yeah, it's as much as it is a physical sport, it's also very much a mental sport as well.
You know, I've always thought about timed events, timed sports like swimming and track. When you get up there and you're ready to go, I assume you know the other competitors and some of their times, or do you know that? And do you have to clear your mind about that kind of thing, or is it on your mind?
Yeah, so especially like right before conference in a 200 free, I know everybody's time's going in, but the way that swimming's laid out with prelims in the morning and finals at night, not everybody's swimming as fast as they need to in prelims. You just make it back because the finals is where it counts. So often everybody will be spread out throughout the pool, and you have no idea who's going to go what time. And when it comes down to it, you stand up behind those blocks and you just have to let it all go and just be like, this is my time and I've just got to swim my race and we'll see what happens.
Of course, all the training and everything, that's what you want to do, that's what you live for.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the training doesn't compare to the racing. It's all about getting up there and seeing what times you can do. Yeah.
One last question. I know that sometimes the women's side and the men's side swim together. Sometimes they go off and compete in different events. You have a home event coming up on the 17th here in another week or so, and it's going to be both. Is it more fun for you to have the cowgirls and cowboys swim together, or would you rather concentrate with the men's side?
No, I think having both teams together is always more fun, just because you get to see the women race, which we don't always get to do, especially at conference we split up, which is disappointing. But having an entire team of 60 people out on pool deck cheering for each other, that atmosphere that it creates at that pool is just incredible.
When you are done at the University of Wyoming, give me a couple of memories that will always make you smile.
I think probably the memory that'll stand out the most for me is last year in our 800 free relay, our 4x200 free, we dove in the water for the last leg, and it was my old teammate Ethan Griffel who swam the very last leg, and we were behind by a lot, and I'd given up. Honestly, I didn't think we were going to do it, and Ethan came back and he touched the wall first by 1/100th of a second to win that race at conference, and swam the fastest time I think in a relay by any swimmer in UW history, and we won the race, and I think that'd be the thing that I'd take with me. Yeah.
That's so much. You would certainly talk to countrymen or other people about coming to Wyoming. What do you like most about it?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. On the swim team, it's just like no team I've ever been a part of. It's such a welcoming team. It's such a hard-working team. And campus itself, I mean, everybody here is wanting to help you get better, move forward with your life, and I don't think there's a better university.
Well, you're one of the best we've ever had at Wyoming. We are glad you chose the University of Wyoming. Adam Kalms, our guest today on the commentary. Thanks for being with us, Adam.
Thank you so much for having me.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
Until next time.